Hey, what's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Oh my gosh, this is the first time I was able to get out here early. Okay. Um, you know, getting up early is always for getting crews out, getting these jobs together. So I was able to get out here a little early. Man, you just missed the flock of crows that's crazy in my area. I mean, like, it is like thousands of them. It's crazy. And they just flew past. Oh, look, you can still see. Look at that. Oh, the stragglers. I don't know where they're going, man, but they're always over here. And don't tell my wife I said this, but this chick was like, "Oh, they're eating the bugs out the sky." I was like, "What? The bugs out the sky? Are you serious?" She was like, yeah, that's what they're doing. I was like, dude, I call BS. You don't know what you're talking about. I haven't Googled that, but they're not even like trying to catch the bugs. Anyway, hopefully she don't watch this one. But I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about us as owners, as construction entrepreneurs, doing our due diligence even when we don't feel like it. Okay, for instance, I had a job recently that came across our table. I actually talked to another contractor. Say, hey man, you got any work? What's going on? You got any customers that you can throw my way? Just wound up talking to him, knew him for a little bit of time. We've been on several different projects together. And he says, yeah, I got somebody that just bought some apartments and they're looking for some numbers. I don't have time to do it, so why don't you go do it? Okay, hey, who is he? He's like, oh, he's the owner of those apartments in such and such LA, right? I was like, oh, okay, I know those apartments. I think I may have met this gentleman before. He says, you probably have. So I called the gentleman up. He says, hey, I hear that you're bidding on the job. So-and-so Archie told me to give you a call to get the plans and so I can get you over some numbers. He says, yeah, I need more numbers, but I'm already in deep talks with two other contractors, right? I said, okay, well, you already received the numbers from them? He says, yes, I got the numbers from them. Okay, so how much time do I have before you make a decision? He says about a week. Now, I can read between the lines a little bit. I have a feeling that I do have a week, but he's pretty dead set on who he's going to go with. And the reason why I know that is because one of the contractors, and now this is a thought, right? This is just a thought. But one of the contractors that I'm bidding against is one of the contractors I used to do work for, that I actually had to do all those nasty emails for, Katera, right? Shout out to Katera. Katera, and the selling point of Katera is a big company, but the selling point of Katera, which is hard for any contractor to beat, is that their selling point is that we will fund your job until it's completed, and then you pay us in 30 days after it's completed. So they're funding, $1 million, a $2 million job, right? And I'm talking about they're funding all the projects like that and paying the contractor when they're done. So it's some big shoes to fill, right? I'm not. I told him right off. I said, hey man, I'm going to require payments. In the beginning, and throughout the project. He said, "Oh, that's fine, that's fine." You know, and then you got to think about, does he have this? Does he have this cash on hand, or is he getting it from the bank? So you got to be careful when they're getting it from the bank. You're going to deal with some delays. For the ones that dealt with payments coming from the bank for a particular project, where they have to actually approve what is done to issue the payment, there's a process. Especially what's going on now is even more of a delay. I just got off a project that was going on. It was nightmarish, okay? Where they didn't come out when they said it was going to come out. When they did come out, nothing was done on time. And when nothing's done on time for us small contractors, there's a ripple effect. It hurts. So I don't know if he has this money, but he says, yep, I have the money and I have no problem with paying you according to your payment terms. Okay. My next selling point to him was, now this is my selling point against Katera, because Katera is the one that I feel is in the lead on this one. I said, hey, most of the work that we're doing is in-house. So, another thing is, this is another thing, it was one of his requirements, no extras. Now, the good thing about that, because you worry about that sometimes, because you're like, no extras? Well, I don't know what's in that wall. I don't know what's in under that floor. The apartments were stripped of the plumbing, stripped of the electrical, like everything was stripped. So everything, drywall, so you seen everything. You can see everything. Only thing you're doing from there is adding to. So there's there's really no extras, right? Only thing you have to do is put the floor down. I mean, it's not studs, it's regular floor down, So you just have to put the floor down, and you don't even have to take up the plywood on the floor. So that was like, yeah. So I did agree to no extras. Okay, I agreed to it. I was like, yeah, you got me on that. You got me on that. So he's like, okay, so no extras. And Tyrone, you in the running. Bad. Okay. Hey, so listen, what I'm going to do that's going to be a little bit against what Katera's doing is that majority of my work, 97% of it is going to be in-house. So you don't have to deal with a wide array of contractors, which can lead to issues having so many contractors on your job, because that's all Katera does. Katera they sub it out, right? And they may find one contractor that do everything. They may find 10 contractors. It all depends on the relationship they have with these contractors and what contractors they have on board. But I say, hey, everything will be in-house, so there's no delay in schedules. There'll be less delay in schedules. There'll be less confusion, less wrong products being installed, less miscommunication, all those things. He says, but guess what? Who cares about that? Good morning. Who cares about that if I'm not gonna have any extras and they're gonna pay for the entire project to the end? So that's true. Some things are too good to be true. He said, that's right. He said, but I did a project with them already, and definitely they did what they said they were going to do. So that's good. So I said to myself this. I know Katera has that project. This is what I'm talking about, doing your due diligence, okay? I know Katera is going to get this project, okay? How long is Katera going to be around? I don't know. I hear that they run into some trouble. Might be true, might not be true, right? They're still here right now, okay? Well, I know this. I want to stay in this apartment game, okay? So I got to weigh it out. It's going to take me a little bit of time to do these line items, because there's I think it's like 3 different apartment sizes, right? Like, and what I mean by size is like 2 bedroom, two one, 3 2, 3 1, that type of deal, right? And they're different square footages. So it's gonna take me a little bit of time to now when you're bidding on apartments, this is the thing. When you're bidding on apartments, there's a discovery that you can do, right? Which you can get paid for. The discovery portion of the apartments is you finding all the fixtures, you finding all the trim, you finding all the doors, you finding all the mirrors, you finding everything that's going to be installed in this, basically creating a finished material list, basically, right? That's what you're doing. You're creating a finished material list, and the rest you can get from the plans, whatever plans they have. They should have some plans, right? So you can do a discovery, which I'll charge to do a discovery, and literally I'll charge it because sometimes it's difficult depending on the client. But you can do a discovery, and I already got the list of products already, so I just literally, give them, hey, these are the products here. What color you want to go with? I got like 3 different schemes that you can pick from, and each scheme has the products already in there. So, and I may have to change out. They're like, hey, I don't like this faucet style. Then we change the faucet style, no biggie. But on this one, I had to do a little bit of discovery, not a whole lot, but they had majority of the items already there. But I had to put pricing to each line item, right? How much to install the vanity, install the faucet, install the vanity complete, right? With the plumbing. How much to install the kitchen cabinets? How much to install the flooring? How much to add a wash and dry hookup in this area, right? How much to run electrical there? How much to run a dedicated circuit for the microwave? All these things you got to give pricing to, right? So, I knew it would take me a little bit of time, and I was game. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Now, the reason why I go for it is because I put this job in a category of doing my due diligence. Okay? This particular customer, I haven't done work for, but they're in the game of buying property. Okay? Katerra's gonna beat me on this one. But I'm going to do a bid because, if anything, they want to see other numbers. I don't care what investor out there, they always want to see different numbers. There's always a chance of, catching something, especially if the investor is not familiar with all the price languages, right? Then they always want, so he'll benefit from that. So I did the numbers, I sent them in. Sent them in because I want to that's my due diligence, okay? I still want to have that person as a customer. And one day I might have that person as a customer because I did that bid, right? Because I provided a number from them. And to this day, I keep in contact with them. Now, I'm not bidding on any other work for them. Now, what I bid on any other work for them, all depends. But that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on for additional work to bid on from them. That's why I did that bid, right? Now, there's some clients that you get where you're not going to get the job, and there's no sense you bidding on the job, and that will fall under a lot of residential projects, okay? Residential projects, you got to wear them out. You got to really wear them out for them to fall under this, what I call a due diligence category, where you're just doing your due diligence to build a relationship, So I reached out to the individual by email asking him, hey, you need any help? How are things going? Hope all is well. Be good to hear from you. I just sent out an email. I didn't get a response back. Okay. But that doesn't mean that the person don't want to talk to us. One thing that I want to stress here is that you did your part. do your part as a contractor. And then sometimes you doing your part, you don't get results now. Sometimes you get results in the future. Sometimes you're building for things, the actions you're doing now will affect things that are coming to you. Okay? And you have to remember that. It's not so much of an instant type business. It's not always, especially on the residential side, we get very used to this. We complete the work, we get paid, right? Sometimes there's a lot of things as you continue to grow your business, you get into these different areas, you get into more maybe complicated areas, situations, jobs, growth within your business, and you'll realize that a lot of things that you do now is for things you want in place later. Okay? It takes time to build at this. And you will see that as you continue to grow your business. Just like any large company, change doesn't happen overnight. So since change doesn't happen overnight, whatever you do now, there's steps to build toward that change. Okay? And that's the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm at a different level now to where I have to put forth the effort and the work to gain those key customers down the road. Because anytime you get introduced to a customer, it's because they have a need, right? They have a hole to fill, right? They have a hole to fill. So if they don't have a hole to fill, then you have to wait for that hole to appear. And you need to be there for when that hole does appear. If you're not there, then that opportunity is missed. Good morning. If you're not there, then that opportunity is missed. So you continue to keep the communication. You continue to keep, the text messages, checking in. Hey, is there any jobs? How you doing? I hope all is well. Are you being safe out there? Just creating a conversation or just communication, what if it is one-sided? Just sending something out, once a month, every 2 weeks. And you can judge that by the person that you're dealing with. Let me say good morning. Good morning. You can judge that by the person that you're dealing with. So keep it up. And for some of those jobs that I just mentioned, do your due diligence to keep it up. Now, let me jump on this for a little bit. For me to do those estimates, I use the CESS Estimating System. Excuse me. CESS Estimating System. Oh, man. This thing has come around. I've been building at this. You guys heard me talking about this. I actually used to sell it. I stopped selling it because it was just too much information on this sheet that was being given out and could be just used on the market anywhere. So I stopped selling the estimate sheet. Now, it looks like if all turns out to be well, I'm finishing up the last few updates with this, and I'll be launching it as a subscription. And this is how this sheet would help us out as contractors. Remember, I have been building on this sheet for 10 years, 10 plus years maybe. And I literally took everything from all these other estimating systems, right? I did ACSS, I done ASTAC, AgTac, I done PlanSwift. Man, I done them all, right? And the good thing about this, you can easily learn all those systems as long as you know Excel, because all those systems are Excel based. Well, my system is fully Excel. And what I did was what I didn't like with each of those systems. Each of those systems, I had to go through a training class just to learn the terminology in this. It wasn't like it was a simple thing. It wasn't like it was like you could jump on here and then be familiar with this and then roll through it. No, you had to go through like an intense training course, and then they had to book you additional hours in case you run into other snags later on. So I eliminate that with this estimating system. And this is for contractors, designed by a contractor for contractors. This is for us. This is for us so we can plug in jobs, be able to play with these numbers all in one place, easy to use. I got drop down names. We add the pricing in there. Literally, you choose the drop down and a price pop up. I'm creating it now to where now those drop downs are searchable. So now you don't have to go through a long list. You can actually type in the first few letters of what you're searching for, and those options will pop up in the display, and then you can choose the right one you want to choose. That's coming up. This thing is huge. It's going to help us a lot out. And the subscriptions, I'm not looking at, a lot of these other estimating subscriptions, they charging, $100 a month, $50 a month. We're going to keep it low. We're going to keep it low because there's a lot of us out here that need the help. We need the help. We need to learn how to put jobs into an estimating system. Stop writing on paper. You don't have the flexibility you need as a contractor writing your bids on paper. And you'll know that once you get a system in your hands, you'll realize how easy it is to do these estimates. And it's not so humbuggish now. It's not so tiresome. You're right? The way we do estimates on paper, pen and pad, so exhausting. Because that's why we wait till the last minute to do it. And that's why it affects everything else that we do. Because that takes up so much energy. You have to estimate all these jobs. Well, it takes mental energy to estimate a job. And if you exhausting all your mental energy on a $1,300 job, on a $5,000 job, then you can't even do your invoicing for the last $200 job that you just, $2,000 job that you just did. You're using up so much mental energy for these little jobs that shouldn't even take up all that energy. This CESS estimating system would help. So look out for it. Look out for when I tell you that it's launched. Hopefully on this platform I can launch it, feel comfortable with it. I feel like my what I created is being protected, and people can easily use all the functions within it. So I'll be running some videos on it as soon as I can launch it. Look out for it. This is something for us. So hey, my construction entrepreneurs, I didn't talk your head off long enough. I'm gonna continue with my coffee and continue to talk to myself while I finish this walk. Hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one, my construction entrepreneurs.